There's only two reasons to go to Thailand. Learn Muay Thai and, this is spoilers!
Oh, so good.
Oh, what's happening,
that was
people?
good, Stevie. That was good.
I try. What's happening? This is your host, Stevie, recording from Elkhart, Indiana. And tonight, or today, or whenever you're listening, we are doing the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic Kickboxer. Trying to think here. Actually, let's do this. Since I doubt any of you know a lot of Muay Thai or kickboxers, let's go around the room from eastest to westus and say who your favorite fighter is of all time, whether it be a boxer or a UFC fighter or even an Olympic wrestler or a fake wrestler. I don't care. Who's eastest?
Me. By the way, I do know at least one Muay Thai fighter. But this is Brett, recording out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. My favorite fighter of all time is George St. Pierre from the UFC.
He sounds a lot like Jean-Claude Van Damme when he speaks English. It's
Yes, he does. They both speak French,
it
so
correlates very well. Well done. I like that pick. Mikey.
I don't really know a whole lot. Before he became dramatic, Irish guy that was really fun to watch.
Conor McGregor.
I don't even remember. Yeah, McGregor. Until he punched that old guy, and that wasn't so cool, but he was fun.
Mikey's microphone out of the Twilight Zone.
It is a little scary. Getting a lot of feedback there.
It's like you have like three different tones. It just keeps going back and forth like you're talking to a.
It's like you're kind of
a
rebounding.
time warp.
Yeah, you're rebounding through dimensions. I don't know which Mikey's talking to me.
It's a multiverse over in Mikey's microphone.
Yeah, so Mikey 2 or 3. I like that pick.
Yeah, it's Earth 616, Mikey.
That's good. George.
Okay, this is Josh from Goshen, and I would say I'm not really into fighting, and I actually hate watching UFC because I feel like limbs are going to break, and I do not want to see it.
They do sometimes.
I always loved watching The Ultimate Warrior for some reason when I was a kid. So I'll go with him.
Yeah, you like the Spirit Squad, Josh.
Dude, I will say, like, WWE would go through different phases in my life where it would just pop up and all of a sudden everyone would be loving it. And I think, like, The Rock led one of those time periods.
Attitude era, yeah. Him and Stone Cold, so good.
Nothing like it. That's the best era of wrestling ever.
Ah, Stone Cold. That's who I should have said. Dang, that's a
Can we start talking about real sports like kickboxing, though?
Is it real?
Yeah, kickboxing is real for sure.
Though?
No.
Pappy, what's up?
This is Pappy, recording from Louisville, Colorado, and my favorite athlete is a real athlete. I would say my junior high wrestling career, since it's the greatest fighting career of all time, where I went virtually defeated over the course of 2 varsity seasons, winning one match to a guy
Greasiest
who...
man in Michiana.
I'll say this, the kid that I pinned, if he would have pinned me, it would have been on like a Sports Center special thing. Like...
It's awful.
So I think, I think
you were
I am
that bad,
probably.
Pappy.
I was not.
He was in a
cut
weight
out for
class
wrestling.
that was so competitive.
Well, and I was I was so like weak in my limbs that I was just like, I just got destroyed.
I can't believe someone hasn't said Peak Bodine.
Lunatic Fringe?
Yeah.
It's not over.
Kylo, I think you're next.
Oh, okay. Well, this is Korey, recording out of Simi Valley, California, also known as Kylo Ren memes. I was trying to think of a pick that I think you would appreciate, Stevie, and I think I found one. Ron Artest.
Yeah,
I think he's my favorite fighter. That guy can beat some ass.
Meta world peace.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't think I brought this up on the podcast enough, which is a real fault on my part. But the Malice in the Palace, as it's known around here, around the country, or as many of you, other of you know it, is when the night that the Pistons and the Pacers got into it. To me, is the greatest night in NBA history. So, Kylo, thank you so much for bringing that up. It is literally, I think, the greatest thing that's ever happened in the league. And Ron Artest...
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
that's controversial, Stevie.
what? It was a fantastic night of sports.
players fighting fans is pretty ugly on a couple levels.
Well, fans need to realize that these grown men could kill them at any moment. They shouldn't be saying vile things from the stands. And the fact that Ron Artest went up there, he's a trailblazer, Josh. He's a hero. All right?
That's a different team.
I was going to say,
Never played for the Trailblazers.
No, I said he's a trailblazer.
We know what you meant. We just messed with you.
Oh,
But you
man,
can't
I
really
tried.
pick another team.
I know.
It's like he's a maverick.
But I will say this, though. He's a maverick.
He's a real Miami Heat.
He's a Phoenix Sun.
He rocketed up those stairs.
He beat the wrong guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. That was the worst 1 second of his life.
By far.
Because he was having the time of his life. He was so pumped. And he said that Ron Artest would make a beeline towards him. He's like, oh my
This
God.
fucking huge psycho just like barreling towards you.
I promise you, spoilers fans, we will talk about Kickboxer, but if you go back and watch the clip of Ron Artest going into the stands, like Brad said, there's this great 1 second clip of this guy so excited that fans and players are starting to fight, and his life changes in the snap of a finger when he realizes he's the fan that's about to die. It is, if you freeze frame it, it could be in any movie right now.
It's so good.
And he would go, how do you think I ended up here?
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
it was-
is there a meme of that? Like, his happy face and then his terrified face?
The curb,
Is it
the curb
totally
music.
unprovoked? Did he
Kylo
throw
or Josh,
something?
you gotta get on that.
Mikey, the guy next to him threw it and then stayed silent while this guy was getting chased down by Ron Artest.
This ain't my fight.
Pointing at his head behind his back, like this is the
He
guy
did
that
it.
threw.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
I mean, this guy literally kept his hands in his pocket while the guy next to him was running for his life. It was perfect. But anyway, tonight we're going to... Oh, I didn't mention my favorite fighter of all time. I have a pretty cool story to tell. My favorite fighter of all time is Muhammad Ali, who I think is pound for pound the greatest boxer of all time. But, fun fact, in northern Indiana on a Sunday one time, I peed next to him in an Olive Garden.
Ooh, did your shoes get all...
Brett.
End of point.
Oh my God!
End of point.
No.
Brett!
That was like no hesitation. You just went there.
I was waiting to see where he went with it, so I kind of had it in the chamber.
Gee, there was literally no waiting. You had that locked and loaded, and then you immediately edited
Just-
yourself.
Jumped on it like a grenade.
I jumped on it like Ron Artest on that poor guy. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Jeez. No, Brett, continue on. Where were you going with that?
Nothing.
Got nothing?
Yeah, I got nothing.
I think he said the whole joke.
I did. I definitely said the whole... I'm a huge fan of Muhammad Ali. I'm not sorry because I think it was funny, but I am sorry. Parkinson's is no joke, guys.
Well, anyway, I kind of sidelined my story there.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Really took it for a downer.
Did you say anything to him? What happened?
I don't know. I mean, if Brett doesn't throw out more lewd and lascivious jokes while I'm trying to tell my stories. Anyway, yeah. So I was peeing in an Olive Garden. I looked up, and there's this gargantuan of a man standing next to me. I'm probably 13, so he's probably wouldn't seem as tall now. But I locked eyes with him after we get done peeing. I just kind of stood there looking at him in awe, and he threw up his hands and shadow boxed next to my head, and then he washed his hands, and walked out of my life forever.
Stevie, he definitely wouldn't look as tall now.
Definitely not, but none of my family believes the story to this day, and it drives me insane. Like, none of it drives me insane that none of my family believes this, even though the man lived in Niles, which wasn't far from this place at all. Like, so yeah.
Was anyone with you, or were you by yourself?
I went to the urinal by myself.
That's why you bring your boys.
Yeah, you always pee with your boys.
Yeah, so
That way, stuff like this happens.
So this was like a big Sunday lunch. I mean, this is after church. Like, the entire family is there. Like, uncles, cousins, mom, dad, the whole family is there, and none of them believe me to this day.
Hey, Stevie.
Muhammad Ali's just strolling in the background. completely out of sight from everybody in your family.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was devastating. You walked out of my life forever.
Listen, Chief, it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Don't say that.
I know.
It's not your fault.
Don't fuck with me, man.
I know. Not you. Not you.
Not you, Josh. Not you.
We
Anyway,
believe you, Stevie. We believe you.
man, this is actually a really fun podcast. For 15 minutes in, we haven't even talked about this movie yet. Anyway, this is a quick, streamlined movie.
Yeah.
Actually, let's hit Josh with this. Josh, you're a man of the 80s. We have a Jerry curled brother. We have, I mean, really on-the-nose music. What's happening in the beginning of this movie?
Well, I guess Jean-Claude Van Damme's brother, who is Latino or something, but his brother, Italian, yeah.
It's just a Guido.
He has to prove that he's like, I don't know, the American kickboxing champ or like the Minnesota kickbox. I don't know where they're at.
He's the world champ.
He's getting some kind of small-time belt. And I gotta say, this reminded me a little bit of Sandow, you guys. These fight scenes at the beginning, they weren't that great. The crowd was small.
Dude, they're stiff, aren't they?
It's weird. The black dude doesn't even like throw a punch or anything. It's kind of disappointing. Like, there's no fight here, and he's just dead.
Well, the thing with this movie is half of it is Jean-Claude Van Damme not fighting. So it's you kind of want a lot more than to see the Jerry Curl brother fighting all these scenes.
This is the first of a couple times where I wasn't sure if Eric was like a good or a bad guy, to be honest. It almost seemed like excessive the way he beat up on this dude. And like he's kind of cocky attitude. I didn't know what to think of him at the time, I guess, Stevie.
Yeah, and the thing I appreciate about this movie a lot is they didn't go into the rules of Muay Thai or kickboxing at all. It just kind of drops it in your lap like hot potato, like this is what kickboxing is. And if I didn't know what the UFC was or what actual Muay Thai like actually looked like over in Thailand, even outside the context of this movie, I would just think it's middle-aged dudes with bad haircuts and sweatpants.
So is kickboxing the same as Muay Thai?
No, it's
I know
not.
nothing. What is the
not.
difference?
The one we're looking at, American kickboxing, is it does not employ Muay Thai rules. Like you can't use your elbows. That's like, they make a point of that when he's in Thailand. He's like, he used an elbow. So yeah, Muay Thai is like 8-point striking. It's like shins, knees, elbows, and fists. So kickboxing is usually just boxing and kicking.
No glass.
No glass. No resin. No glass.
No hemp rope.
Nope.
So,
This is
Brett,
breaking
do they
dudes'
still use glass to this day?
No, not it's
The ancient way.
I don't think I've never seen anything like that. Like Muay Thai is pretty nuts, but and the training for it is insane. Like there's actually a book where like a journalist went and trained Muay Thai.
Rolling shins, man.
And it's like he wrote a book about it. It's insane. But no, I don't believe they do that kind of stuff anymore. If they ever did, to be honest with you.
Anymore? That was real?
I have no
Oh
idea.
my God.
I would pay pay-per-view to watch glass, resin, hemp
die.
gloves, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
If it was
You're just
realistic,
watching
though, it'd be
murder.
real quick.
Can you imagine Joe Rogan calling that fight and just going on and on about the properties of hemp as they're fighting? Like, see all the uses you can do for hemp? Look at their hands.
An ape would tear that guy's face off regardless of glass or not. Jamie, bring that up.
Jamie, bring that up.
Stevie, you passed it to me to describe this beginning scene, and I think I can open up the can of the movie basically here.
Oh,
Because-
this is a very streamlined movie, Josh. Go ahead. This is very on-the-nose filmmaking. It's my favorite type.
He walks off the stage and he's like, "Hey, reporters, I'm kicking ass all around the world here." And one reporter steps up and he's like, "I heard there's pretty good kickboxing in Thailand, see?" And he's like, "Well, I'm going to go kick ass there." Hence the movie.
Book me plane
Book me a
tickets,
flight
chum.
to Taiwan.
Yeah, he just sets up this match or whatever with no regulations whatsoever.
It's not very
no
organic
refs,
at
no.
all, is it?
He's just going over there to pick fights, and it's kind of his downfall.
That's a perfect way to put it, Stevie.
I mean, it's not like this isn't kosher at all. It's not like, Eric Sloane, who I would just call the Jerry Curl master, is like, making noise that's ruffling feathers in Thailand, and a villain comes and says, "I challenge you on my ground."
Yeah, that would have been more organic. That would have been much better.
Yeah, this is kind of like Josh said. It's more like, "Hey, see, I heard Thailand, they have a crazy sport called Muay Thai. What do you think?" And
So what you're saying, Stevie, is that it's not Rocky 4.
this is Rocky 4, but
Well, you just
worse.
said it's not Rocky 4.
This
Reverse
is
Rocky.
extremely Rocky 4. But Pap, you're probably the most well-traveled person in this pod, I
Oh,
imagine.
yeah. Well, Josh has been around, but...
I mean, Pap, you've gotten food poisoning in South America. You've gotten, you've stayed in the slums of Paris.
I've been in District B13. Yeah.
You've been in Singapore. You've been all over. And what's great about Thailand when they get to these opening scenes is you think they show like this great architecture and the great beauty that surrounds Thailand. And what do we get instead?
We get a Jean-Claude Van Damme taking pictures of a bunch of naked little kids.
Yeah, I was hoping someone would bring that up.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, but I mean, I will say this, that like, sure, maybe in the opening scenes, your boy Jerry Curl, the Eliminator, is going to like get a prostitute or just pick up a woman or something. I don't know. That seems to be their first priority, but they do go like immediately into the park after that to go training. And like, this movie was shot on location, and I think it does really show you, like, you got the kids playing like soccer, volleyball, or whatever, and some of the architecture there. So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they made the best use of it, but there are some pretty cool shots, I would say.
I
We're
thought
actually
I read-
like in the boat.
There is,
It's kind of
yeah.
cool.
I thought I read that besides all the pretty photos of like the watts and stuff, that this was actually shot in Hong Kong.
Shot on location in Hong Kong. That's what I
Okay.
meant to say. I don't know.
Jean-Claude Van Damme just couldn't leave after Bloodsport.
No, yeah. He had to stay in the Forbidden City because they
It's
were
his
going to tear
Hotel
it down.
California. Hong Kong is his Hotel California. But I thought it was just priceless how, I mean, it literally goes into the part where it's showing like Jug's Bar, and it's just showing like prostitutes
It said, like,
everywhere.
Pussy Hut or something like that.
Pussy Hut, like the kitten lounge. It's like, we get it.
Is that a division of Pizza Hut?
Yeah. Hey, Brett, is that part of Yum Corporation?
It's much less tasty there.
KFC brand?
I don't think a lot of these people are like SAG extras either. I think they just took a camera on the street and were
No,
shooting people through
They're
the
just
doors.
people living their lives.
They're looking at the camera.
The Canon Films way.
This was filmed very quickly in a hurry because there's no regulation or no permits here whatsoever. They got to get in and out. This is guerrilla filmmaking.
When they were training in that park and everyone was just standing around, I'm like, they're filming a movie without any permits whatsoever,
Yeah.
and people are just watching.
Yeah.
Like, that cracked me up. And it also...
I
that
mean,
part in
maybe people are just watching because there's two grown men just lightly tapping each other half naked in the middle of the park. But yeah, but there's just people standing around watching.
Yeah, and there's also kind of the scene that explains why Jean-Claude Van Damme is still horrible with the English language, and Eric Sloane has top-notch English.
You sure had it easy with Mom in Europe. Dad never let up. If I wasn't the best in every sport I played, he'd call me a loser. He was always on my case, but he made me strong.
You know, Eric, Mom, she was a very special lady too. She wanted me to learn 3 languages, to take ballet, before I learned karate. I really miss her.
I wish they would have been there to see me win the championship.
Well, big brother, they could never get along, but I'm glad we do. They'd be proud.
Yeah. You're right, kid.
There's no reason for it. You don't need this scene. Like, it's like Jean-Claude, his parents are divorced. He grew up in Europe. The other brother grew up in Los Angeles. Like, it's such a better movie if they don't even acknowledge the accent
I think-
difference.
I disagree.
I think it shows that they're close and they came together. Like, I don't know. They could have done without it, but I like the fact that they showed that even though they grew up apart, they're still close, and their parents would be proud that they're still close.
Yeah,
don't know.
I mean,
I mean, why even make them brothers? Just
two brothers.
make them friends. They're so clearly not brothers.
If you need that conversation, then you don't need the boat ride with them like holding hands and buying flowers, sitting in like a 2 feet space next to each other.
I'd do that with my bros. Come on, Josh.
That's fine.
I'd take a ferry ride with you.
It's 2020, Josh. If guys want to buy flowers for their buddies or their brothers.
Also, how amazing was Jean-Claude's Canadian tuxedo without the shirt underneath?
It's a bold look.
That look.
That's classy.
It needs to come back. I was like, all right, this is an era I would have thrived in, the 80s. But, Brett, as we move into Thailand and cocky Eric Sloane is going to fight for some odd reason that was very unprompted in the beginning, what happens that kind of jumpstarts the whole movie, the inciting incident?
Man.
This is literally the crux of the entire movie, Brett.
Where he fights Tong Po? Or...
Yeah!
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he challenges Tong Po. Is that the right name?
Tong Po.
Tong
Tong
Po.
Po.
That he's the best in Thailand, but the exterminator, or whatever his name is. What is his name?
The Eliminator.
Oh, because his real kickboxing name in real life was the Terminator. So the Eliminator, he's not worried. He thinks he's going to whip this guy because he kicks really hard. And Jean-Claude Van Damme sees him kicking some pole, and he freaks out. And then Tong Po just freaking kills this dude. Almost literally kills him. He elbows him in the back. And pretty unnecessary. But then that's, like Stevie said, that's the crux of the movie. He wants revenge. But you're not good enough, man. So that's kind of what it is.
I like where after the match, they put him on a stretcher and they just take him outside to the front of the building and they set him on the ground and then they lock the door behind him.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
That shit has always been funny to me. This movie, I watched this when I was in 3rd grade for the first time and I fucking loved this shit.
Didn't the boss say to kill him, though? I feel like they failed in their job as henchmen there.
I thought he just told him to get him out of there because he was going to cause a scene. But he does make it like a gesture, kind of like, he doesn't slit his throat. I don't know what he does. I don't know. I'm with you, Josh, but I don't think that's what he meant, probably.
Stevie, I kept thinking about this last night. This movie goes really dark a couple times, and it's such a more, I don't know why, but such a more morbid choice to make him a paralyzed, and it's just to kill him in the ring. You know what I mean? I don't even know why that is. I just feel like if he killed him in the ring, it'd be almost more silly and over the top. The fact that he's paralyzed is just oh, that's really, really sad. But then
they kidnap him at the end. They use it as blackmail, but I guess they could have kidnapped the girl.
Well, they couldn't do the exact same thing as Rocky IV, right?
They just did the exact same thing as Bloodsport, just with worse injuries.
His buddy.
Throw the damn towel!
Throw the damn towel!
I think the issue we're getting at is why did they have to throw motivation on top of motivation on top of motivation there?
I was thinking the same thing. They added so many extra layers that they did not need,
including stabbing a dog. A poor doggo.
A24 movie over here.
Oh my god.
Kiki.
But yeah, so that's what happens.
I mean, Pap, is that pretty on the nose for Thailand? For if you're in an underground Thai tournament and you get paralyzed, they will just leave you on the outside?
I've never been to I've never been to Thailand. I have been to East Asia a couple times, and I think I misspoke his name. Winston Taylor, is that his name? The friend that he meets, the expat.
Oh my god!
Yes. I shit you not. Every time I've been to Japan or Singapore or any place over there, I've met at least 2 Americans who are just like this guy. Maybe not arms dealers to his level, but engaging in the same kind of behavior and activities and lifestyle as this guy.
Well, Winston,
really,
yeah.
Winston Taylor is the one that gives him the ride to the hospital, where we find out that Eric is paralyzed. What's Winston Taylor like, Pap? He's such a great side character.
Is he like Jimmy Fallon, Pap?
He looks a lot like Jimmy Fallon.
God.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's an expat. I think he served in Vietnam, and he's now an arms dealer. He enjoys, I think he puts it the simple pleasures or the pleasures of life. He likes to bang Taiwanese women. He likes to drink. He likes to smoke his cigars.
He says, "I'm a high-living, slick-talking, fast-walking, cool drinking dude."
Yeah.
Did you Did you say Taiwanese?
He's a man of culture.
That's not what it is. But
Yeah,
it's
definitely
I know it, Brett. But it's I don't know. He drives a blue Mazda. He seems like a cool guy. He's a good character for this kind of movie, right? Like these kind of movies, like Bloodsport. You need the over the top friend for the entertainment.
High living, slick talking, fast walking, cool drinking dude. I just like to enjoy life's many good pleasures.
I don't know if they explicitly said it, but are we supposed to assume that he went AWOL? Because it sounded like he was in the military, he got sent to Thailand, and loved it so much that he just didn't leave. It made it seem like he couldn't go back home to me, but...
Well, there's some, I mean, whether it be there's a lot of horror stories when it comes to soldiers. It's rare, but they do happen. It's kind of like what you said, Brett. They never leave, which I imagine a lot of soldiers just go AWOL. And that's what I picture Winston did.
So... Thailand was Winston's Hotel California.
Yes.
Okay.
But he's like dealing tanks, isn't he? Doesn't he say that he's stealing tanks at one point? Like moving them? He's a major arms dealer.
Whatever he can get his hands on.
He's like Nick Cage in that one movie.
Lord of War?
Yeah.
I've never seen
Family
it, but
Man.
I love Family Man, even though it's probably terrible.
No, it's amazing.
Oh, I thought you meant Bangkok Dangerous.
Oh, yeah, that is another one, yeah.
I think he has long hair in that one.
The way I saw it is that he may have, like, people thought he died in the war, and he just kind of let people think that and moved on and used his skills in this new society. I don't know.
I thought he ended up saying he's, like, retired, semi, or something like that or something.
They think I'm dead.
Regarding his army status.
My wife's getting my pensions.
Oh, Mikey, after we kind of get the general setup of brother paralyzed, I'm out for revenge, Jean-Claude Van Damme gets talked about by Winston, tells him about a teacher named... Can someone help me with his name? I struggled pronouncing it.
But they said it 6 different ways during the movie.
That's what I'm saying. I struggle with the pronunciation.
Xian or Xian?
Xian? Jin?
Xian.
Xian?
Xian?
I thought there was a but again, who knows?
Ian with a Z. Is that correct?
That's what I always
Xian.
got.
It's spelled an X, though, which makes me think it's Xian, but...
Xian?
Let's just call him the X-Man.
But, Mikey, we meet Uncle Xian, who's going to train Jean-Claude. And in my mind, I think he pulls off the greatest stunt of the entire movie. Do you remember what happens?
He does a couple of things that are a little...
Suspend disbelief, make it seem like it's not real.
Yeah, suspend disbelief. Well, he floats in air for like 5 seconds here.
That's what I'm saying.
Kicking over Jean-Claude Van Damme's head or something.
He does like 5 kicks in the air at one time.
Good defense.
But the way it is cut is... I don't know. They cut across frames or something, so they're cutting across the angle or something. So it's like, well, obviously he's not in the air for this whole time, but it's pretty goofy looking. I don't know. What is he trying to do? Just like shadow boxing Jean-Claude?
It reminded me of Kung Pao Enter the Fist. You guys ever seen that movie?
No, but I remember
Long
it.
ago, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. And it's like, this is where I looked at my wife and said, all right, this is where the movie gets good. Now that we've introduced a character that can do this. It's amazing the rest of the way. Which, did Jean-Claude have a contract with a khaki company? Or whatever pants he was wearing the entire time?
Dude, that's all classic jungle attire. Pleated pants, some leather strap shoes, and very heavy canvas shirts. It's all stuff you'd wear.
Do you think it's in Jean-Claude Van Damme's contract that at least once a movie, his groin has to be stretched?
100%.
Because he's got to show how flexible he is, but like it's like the montage is almost like identical to the Bloodsport montage.
100%.
Except for
do you mean
the
training montage or like the sad boy cruising around the area montage? Because that is also
where he's Charlie Browning.
The training one, not the sad one.
All around Thailand.
His friend's been hurt.
Did anyone else love the music as much as I did? Of like how on the nose it was with every song.
It's like watching a South Park episode where Trey Parker's just like saying what's happening.
There's a truck changing lanes. Yeah. For all my basketball fans, you know what that's about.
Like, I mean, even after his brother is paralyzed, he's like, I'm out for revenge. And then, like, every song is like the soul of the night, like exactly what's happening. It's perfect. I think it's.
I'm tied up in a tree.
Also,
taking pictures of little boys.
Where are those photos now? No one knows.
Josh,
edit point.
Hashtag.
After we get sent away by Uncle Xian, Ian with a Z, to go to the market, we meet our love interest. What is Miley like?
Miley is kind of a spunky clerk, I guess. She seems to be like giving him the eyes as soon as she sees him. So I think it's like she thinks he's hot, but
with those groin muscles, dude. Oh yeah.
The way the scene plays,
is he not hot? Prove me wrong.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty hot. I don't know. The way the scene plays out there, though, is that he goes into her shop, and of course, like, I think there's like a. Doesn't this happen in Rumble in the Bronx, Korey, too? Like, a couple people come in to try to steal stuff, so he has to kick their ass and save her. But turns out, like, they're part of the local gang, of course, so this is, like, gonna go higher up. And, I don't know, you start to get into, like, the higher levels of danger that are happening here.
It's kind of a weird place to take this movie. Like, because we really don't see a lot of Freddy Li, who is like the bad guy really behind Tong Po. And Freddy Li really doesn't do anything to like, I don't know, I think it's a weird place to take the villain like off of Tong Po. Like in Bloodsport, which I will compare this to, Chong Li is like the villain. Mm-hmm. That's it. And it's weird to have like not one, but two extra villains outside of the fighter.
Yeah, and then there was zero reason for that even bigger boss to be in the movie.
There's always a bigger fish.
My hope was there was going to be an even bigger guy above him. That was my hope, was to show like three bosses.
No, it's just really Chong Li like running the scene. He's the one that's really in charge. Speaking of Chong Li fights the guy that plays Tong Po in Bloodsport.
Yes.
Yeah,
he
breaks
his fucking leg.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah,
he has a good Jerry curl in that one, doesn't he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, Tong Po's not like an Asian man. The actor, right? Yeah.
No, he was born in Morocco and moved to Belgium when he was really, really little. And he became really good friends with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Tong Po is played by Jimmy Fallon, actually. I didn't know that. Stevie.
Dude, I gotta say, that Tong Po guy, he's scary looking.
Yeah.
He's like...
Does his face kind of look prosthetic?
Yeah.
He looks like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, for sure.
Rat tail. But I guess it's not a rat tail because it doesn't start at his neck.
Oh, I had a rat tail. I'm not proud of it.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. I got pictures to prove it.
Can we put it on Instagram?
Maybe.
Oh. What were you going to ask, Pap?
Well, when does Freddy Li talk? Because I sent you that fact that I saw in Mental Floss that like Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, is the uncredited dub of him, but I don't even remember him speaking.
What, dude? When he's asking for $1 million.
Oh yeah.
Plus, he's also like, you need to lose every round, or your brother dies slow. That was not an accent. That was just me talking.
He had to have been taking so many parlays with this bet to bet $1 million.
Well, because the odds. I mean, you'd have to bet like $1 million to win like. Not a lot, because Tong Po had to bet a huge
If he
favorite.
bet $1 million, he'd probably win $100.
Yeah, these are amateur fights. Who's betting on this? Who are the high rollers here?
What is the point of lending someone $1 million if they're just going to gamble it anyway? Couldn't he just gamble the $1 million and it'd be literally the same thing but better?
I don't know how underground Thailand boss mafia like gambling works, but I think you're right, Pap. It makes much more sense in your version. But as we go through a bunch of training montages, which I feel really bad if I didn't mention this. This will be real quick. When they're at like the temple training and Jean-Claude's supposed to be listening, there's this point where it's so beautifully edited where he like kicks that thing off the stick and it cuts to an eagle that looks like it's amazed by what Jean-Claude Van Damme just did.
His mouth is agape.
Its mouth is agape. It is perfect.
What's the point of the eagle? Is it like an American eagle? Like, is it like
There's
a
some
bald
weird
eagle,
thing
gold
going on
eagle?
with birds.
That thing was
Isn't
cool.
there? Like,
Some
there's a whole
damn
thing where
birds.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is like obsessed with birds in cages like a couple
Oh,
times.
that's true. Yeah,
in the
plus
movie.
How did you not understand that?
Xian has a bird too.
It's pretty
Yeah,
obvious.
Yeah, and like when he arrived at Uncle Xian or Xian or Zhen for the first time, like a bird landed on the tree. Like there's a whole thing going on with birds here that I have no idea. I think
So
there's
it's another
supposed to be...
layer that didn't need to be in there probably, but
And they're also fighting on like an ancient burial ground of an old fight.
They have
with
to
ghosts.
listen, Josh.
There's
Have to
definitely
listen.
many layers to this film.
You just have to listen. Eventually, you'll see actors come to life fighting with swords, which you will not be doing. Not once did Jean-Claude handle a sword.
what's with the scene where he's imagining like two characters from Mortal Kombat fighting each other?
He listened.
Okay.
It's beautiful writing, really. It's very on the nose.
I gotta say that's a cool setting though. That was wherever they were fighting. That looked pretty cool.
Those ruins.
Yeah, the ruins. I'm sure it was probably illegal for them to be there, and nobody knew about it, and they didn't have any permits or anything, but it looked cool.
As a kid, my favorite part of his training was when he takes on the tree, like the small palm tree, and he's kicking it, and his leg starts hurting a lot, but he starts like feeling the dark side, and he powers up and he like kicks it down.
Yeah.
That shit always was funny to me.
And then like the next day he's swimming and he's got no wound on his shin.
That's a good point.
It was like physically hard to watch. That shin stuff,
Yeah.
even with Tong Po smashing that,
It wigs me out.
that
They do
pillar,
that stuff
was like,
though. They like calcify
yeah, that's
their shins
insane.
and stuff. So
They roll them, man. They roll shins for a year. Then they train.
If we're going to talk about favorite training montage, I would just like to shout out the bowling ball to stomach drop that gets higher and higher as we go. It's like a 100-foot drop.
what you say? Are you
To his
ready? Are you
abs.
ready to protect?
How did he get up there?
Grandpa got up there.
He
in
just
Three
jumped.
Ninjas.
I mean, that was...
Never climb a tree full of thorns.
Oh my god! I love the references. You know, that's so good.
I mean, that was just a 40-foot drop. And, like, I do love the callback, too. Because at first it's like 5 feet. And Jean-Claude is like, what the hell was that?
Destroys him.
20 minutes later, it's 40 feet. And he's like, I'm good.
They should have just taken the time to make another edit of that scene that they could have deleted where there's like a prosthetic of his chest exploding like when it falls down, just for the deleted scenes.
Or it lands on his balls. He misses and lands on his balls.
Was anybody else uncomfortable with Jean-Claude Van Damme's earlier training size? Like his grunts that he was making? They were pretty PG-13.
Didn't cross my mind. What did it awaken in you, Brett?
Yeah. I wanted
Didn't
more
awaken
of the
anything.
grunts. What did
if
you
anything's
want,
going to
Brett?
awaken me, it's going to be the thong that they show Jean-Claude wearing at the end.
Fair enough.
Not when he's splayed out, spread eagle style, ripping a new gooch into his body.
Oh my god, that's what the eagle represents.
Is that what the eagle
Rock flag eagle.
I don't even know who he's trying to fool that he couldn't do the splits before this training montage. It's like, dude, look at you. You're ripped as shit. I'm pretty sure doing the splits would not be the hardest thing in the world for you. I don't know. They made him seem like he was totally useless before he met this
They
guy.
made
when
him
he's
seem like a
clearly
normal
ripped.
guy.
Are we supposed to believe that? Because I think at the beginning, his brother's like, I want him to be a vet or a lawyer or something. It's like, what are you talking about? Look at him.
He's bigger than you.
Yeah, he is insanely jacked.
Yeah,
he's
he's
clearly
so
like
big.
some kind of athlete. He talks about knowing karate, but he's gonna go be a lawyer now? He's gonna go fight crime?
It's like, bro, you can't even read a McDonald's menu. You're not being a lawyer.
Like,
right?
he's
He's gonna get a degree in bird law.
bird law, definitely.
The eagle. There it is.
That's what it represents, the bird law he was supposed to enter. But
One of the two.
Josh, you're our social justice warrior on this
Mhm.
pod. Do you take umbrage with the fact that this movie took pretty much a sport that I imagine takes years to master and kind of put in a white dude from America that was supposed to be a lawyer or a vet, and he becomes like the best in the world?
Well, we shrugged past the scene where he like Michael Cera's through the city with the sad music, like we mentioned it. But that's
My brother
basically
just died.
he basically gets complete cultural appropriation. Like he takes in all the Buddhism there, all the mysticism, everything he has after that small walk.
I mean, he
The
does get
thousands of
laughed.
millennia.
I mean, how dare he look around?
He does get laughed out of a gym. Like,
Yeah.
not all.
And honestly, Steve, I think that's funny and not. Man, there's probably some locals who actually know that art and probably cringe watching this, but
Yeah.
nothing compared to how I think everyone's cringing at the 5307 timestamp of the movie when Eric grabs the nurse's ass.
Dude.
Easily the worst part of the
that
movie.
was weird.
Brittany goes, "Oh
Yeah.
no!" And I was like, "Yeah, I bet we're going to talk about that." Hey, what we don't know is if him
And
and,
then
that
the doctor
woman
laughs.
have had a relationship the last 3 months. We don't know that. Cut him some slack.
His dick doesn't even work. What is he doing?
Sure it does.
No, but yeah.
The doctor just laughs it off.
True.
And the
It's
doctor like
come on,
high fives
man.
him.
It's called
Good job, bro.
enabling.
Yeah.
Like, it's really weird, Josh, because after that moment, which is the strangest thing, it goes from training to ass squeeze back
It's
to
not-
training.
The
It
scene
had-
is not necessary at all.
So
Mm-hmm.
the only way I could think of was he was an actual kickboxer. I think it might have been in his contract that he got so much screen time. And they literally ran out of time and had no other shots. Now it's probably just him being his normal self. They're like, this is what we got to throw in, boys.
Don't slander his name that bad. I hope he had to do that. But
Dude, he
man.
went to prison for tax evasion and fraud.
There's another really weird little skit with him too, where he like reads this really crappy newspaper with his brother on the cover, and he like squashes the newspaper in anger. I still don't know why he did that. I've been thinking about that all day.
I
What
don't
was he
remember
mad
that at
about?
all.
Jealousy?
I think it's not now. It's because he doesn't want his brother to fight. Because
Yeah.
when he gets to the camp or whatever, he's like, "Let's just go home, man."
He
Like
gets
this
scared,
dude
yeah.
clearly fucked me up. He's gonna destroy you. You're not as good as a fighter as I am.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme is a fucking savage in his bedside manner. He's like, no, I'm a better fighter than you
Yeah.
ever were
I
already.
love that.
Yeah, that was harsh,
In
man.
3 months, I've become the greatest martial artist this country has ever seen, and I did it all in pleated pants.
Did it?
He basically says, look, I did the thing from Karate Kid, therefore I'm pretty fucking good now.
True. It's all about the training. Like, that's the point.
Yeah, like his most excruciating training montage. I hope we don't skip over this. Is the bar scene.
Mikey, let's talk
Oh, no.
about Jean-Claude Van Damme Drunken Master for a minute.
Yes.
What happens?
His master takes him out for lunch, and they decide to just get hammered. But of course, Jean-Claude Van Damme is wearing the most ridiculous outfit I think I've ever seen in film in any genre whatsoever.
This is how
He's wearing pleated
I
pants,
picture
leather shoes.
every dad in the 80s. That's how I pictured they dressed all the time.
He's got like suspenders attached to a tank, a black tank top or something. He looks weird.
That picture's so good.
I'm sending it to the group chat.
So he's getting hammered, and his master turns on a record on the radio and tells him to go dance with this lady. And so he's out there looking like an idiot because he's Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he's actually dancing the way he would dance in real life, and he's actually trying.
He dances like
and
he
he's
dances
very-
how I imagine Tommy Wiseau dances. That's how I was thinking the whole time. Which is not a
And
compliment.
then to top it all off, his master is walking around the whole bar, telling everybody, "Hey, go beat up that guy. just go fuck with that guy." And and then they end up fighting. It's a hilarious scene.
Can I defend JCVD, Stevie, quickly?
I would be mad if you were saying anything bad about him, so go ahead.
Mikey said that's how Jean-Claude Van Damme would dance in real life. First of all, Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think he borrowed a little bit of his real life. He's actually a trained ballet guy.
Yeah,
that's where he started. So I feel like...
Oh, is he?
The fact that this dancing... Like, he did the fucking dancing on Conan in, like, 2017. It's still a meme. Like, that's definitely, like, intentional comedy. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to be a drunken, funny guy. And I think that actually is, like, really good on his part.
I don't think it was as intentional at the time as it seems now. But I think these 80s movies do have like a slight air of comedy about them. And you're probably right to some degree, I think.
I think this shows signs of bravery from Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hear, hear.
Because let's be honest, would Vin Diesel ever perform this scene?
No.
Vin Diesel wouldn't fit in those pants.
Dance with that girl.
I'm gonna go dance
By
disco
dancing
with that
sugar
girl.
Corona in front of her.
I'm the type of guy that likes a body.
First of all, there'd have to be more girls.
The one thing I did love about that scene, though, was the guy who held up the table for no reason, just so he could get kicked into the water. Like, Jean-Claude directed, and he did like all the choreography for these fight scenes, and I could only think this was during his like big-time cocaine phase. And so I really hope one day he was just like, "You are going to hold this table." And the guy is just like, "Why?" He goes, "I need you to hold this table." And the guy keeps going, "Why?" And eventually he's just kicked in the water.
Yeah,
Like it's treated like it's the big like moment of the fight because it's super slow-mo, and I think it's one of the last things he does, but it's like so cheap. It's not that impressive to see him kick this guy into the water. Like, it's not that cool.
It was pretty cool.
It's not that cool.
It was pretty cool, Korey. It was cool,
It's
right?
not as cool as like groin stretching, but
Not as cool as groin stretching. Definitely not as cool as giant. Or are they coconuts getting dropped down from 100 feet?
100.
Anvils.
Now it's 100.
It's 100.
Those classic training exercises that all kickboxers must go through.
I mean, how many ropes and
Basics.
pulleys do these martial arts trainers have? It's 2 movies now where he's getting stretched by pulleys.
It's kind of his thing.
He's into BDSM. He's a little bit of a masochist.
I will keep this
think.
after the movie. Prop goes to my trailer.
But after that bar fight, we get an agreement between Freddy Li and Uncle Xian. I still can't say his name. I think I'm saying it wrong.
Kind of funny when Jean-Claude Van Damme's like, "Why is he dressed like that?" Like right in front of him. I guess he probably didn't speak English, but like, look how you've been dressing, man.
But we get a quick fight, and then Jean-Claude is still adamant he's going to fight Tong Po. Which, at this point, I don't care what happens to Eric after that whole nurse thing. I really just don't care. I could not care if we get the fight or we don't. Eric's an asshole. Not saying he deserves to be paralyzed, but still.
Could be his girlfriend. Nobody knows.
So why does he have to fight this guy? Just to prove that he's not going to get his face ripped off by Tong Po immediately? I mean, why not just give him to Tong Po?
Yeah, it's really poor gambling from Freddy Li to be like, let's get him a little good, and then I'll bet against him. Like, he should have just gone straight to Tong Po, in my mind.
I love how they just trade kicks for what seems like a solid 60 seconds. Just
67 kicks, Mikey. It was 67 kicks.
Yeah.
67?
No defending the kick whatsoever on both sides of the match.
To go back to Kylo, it reminded me a bit of Rocky IV, where Drago and Rocky just trade blows for 8 straight rounds with no defense.
Yes, and this is also in Bloodsport, I'm pretty sure. When he's Frank Dukes, he's like trading kicks with some guy at some point. It's like exactly the same thing. But hey, like you said, it was choreographed.
Paco. The Muay Thai guy.
Oh, it is. Oh, you're right. You're right, yeah.
The actual only real fighter in that movie besides Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was like a real Muay Thai fighter, like a really good one.
Well, wasn't the big boss guy in that movie
Nah, not
like martial arts?
I don't think so. Like maybe basic, like growing up in China, but I don't think he was way well known for that. But maybe Bong Lee or
Bolo Yang.
Bolo Yang, yeah.
Dude, legit wrestler.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, I believe it. He's massive.
That dude could legit fight. Yeah,
well,
he's
he
actually
legit took
legitimate.
steroids for that movie.
Yeah, he was a legit fighter. I mean, if you look at him in Enter the Dragon, a young Bolo Yang is still massive, pre-steroids. But before we get to the fight, we get some really strange head games. Pappy, kind of take us through the layers.
So many
of what
layers.
Freddy Li and Tong Po are up to get inside the mind of JCVD.
Yeah, thanks for passing this off to me. I'll take the first part.
What's that supposed to mean?
Freddy Li kidnaps the now paralyzed exterminator, and that's gonna get into his head. And then he also like we said, he also rapes Miley. So Stevie, I think you've now kind of taken the crown of the spoiler sexual assault films from Josh. I think that's kind of like now your thing, right?
Listen here, motherfucker. You don't want to be on this pod. You can get off. How can you say I took the crown? Did I defend it?
Like Tong Po did.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett.
Edit point for Brett part 2?
I'm the bad guy.
But it's like those three things. It's like the his brother getting kidnapped, which is whatever. But then it's her getting sexually assaulted and a fucking dog dying back to back. It's like, man, this
Didn't die, man. Didn't die.
Okay, getting stabbed.
Didn't die, bro.
A shot of the dog later panting for life. Like it has a much better life now that it's basically dead, mostly dead.
They bring the dog to the fight.
They bring the dog to the fight.
Hey, that dog has excellent health care over there in Thailand, and just because its premium was 0 doesn't mean you get to deny the fact that he gets to live.
Yeah.
Either way, this is all to cloud Kurt Sloane's fighting judgment or his focus or something, and it seems to have a pretty profound effect. He gets his ass kicked by Tong Po in the ancient way.
Well, it's because they're betting against him, and they got to win that $100.
Right, yeah.
All right, this is another time where you have to suspend belief because, he gets hit, like, in the stomach 8 times unanswered, in the face 5 times unanswered, but there's, like, no blood, even though he's got glass on his hands. So, I guess it's fine. You don't want it to be too bloody, but it also, like, later they make a point to show that he's cutting him with the glass, so...
Well, wouldn't it have made more sense to make Bloodsport in the ancient way with hemp, wrap, and glass? So there just would have been a lot of blood, and this one didn't need the hemp.
Well, that
and
was
glass.
actually based on apparently a true underground fighting thing, so this is probably just made up, but I don't know.
The Kumite never happened.
Well, I know what
Frank
Frank Dukes said didn't happen, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it was called Tekken Tag Tournament. That was the real thing.
I was there.
Oh my God.
I've been to Kumite. Don't tell me it's not real.
Are we at least on the same page that Jean-Claude Van Damme was only getting his ass beat because he thought that was the only way to get his brother back?
100%.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say 100%. I would say he was going to be losing anyway.
No.
So
when he sees his brother, he just destroys Tong Po.
Yeah.
Like doesn't even stand a chance at all.
Kyla, was the Tong Po dialogue in the fight necessary to get Frank Dukes or whatever Sloane kind of enraged to fight him?
That's what I'm saying. Like he had extra motivation. Extra motivation.
It's a real strange choice of dialogue there.
I mean, they're really, doing the Green Goblin. First that you attack his heart,
Right.
Yeah.
If
you want to hear what Tong Po said, listen to Stevie, what Stevie said on a spoiler.
100%.
Yeah, because that's what he says.
Except there's even more to it. It's worse.
There's even more. Wait, what, Josh?
What's the first thing he says? Miley, love me?
I don't want to say.
Stevie, Josh, we just did 5 episodes on The Last Dance. Like, you got to know not to give Jean-Claude Van Damme bulletin board material like that. He just turns into MJ out there. You're just looking for a reason to get pissed off.
True MJ doesn't need to get his brother kidnapped. He can just make up some shit in his mind.
Yeah.
Well, so is the fighting the ancient way a disadvantage? Because he tears off the glass and then he starts
so
to kick
confused
ass,
by that.
Yeah. What? Why does he
I
do
never
that?
understood that either. Like, I don't know. Maybe you can make a stronger fist. I don't know. I have no idea.
I didn't get it whatsoever. Was there a callback we didn't get?
Maybe just wants to make him just, I don't know, break his bones or whatever, make him feel it more. I don't know.
It's humiliation. Because he's probably not going to kill him, so he has to show that he could beat him even without that. But, I mean, one of his henchmen gets gooched, and a hook in his gooch.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure he died. I mean, people are dying, so he should have just killed him.
Oh,
Turns out Winston is fucking Rambo, but not First Blood Rambo. Rambo 2 or Rambo 3 Rambo.
He's Dutch from Predator. He's got the same gun, the M16 with like the M203 grenade launcher on it. Just blowing people up. Not blowing people. Blowing people up.
Blowing people. He's just in there blowing everyone.
Up.
Maybe Jean-Claude wanted his hands freed from the glass so he could pull out a gun and just shoot Tong Po.
Well, Tong Po grabs a fucking torch, like as a weapon.
I think his thong was just up his butthole too much. He needed to pull it out.
This is the professional league or what? Like, why is nobody stopping Tong Po from using the fire torch or anything? I mean,
because of movie, Mikey. Because of movie.
Also, Winston took control of the gong.
Oh, that's true.
The ancient way basically means anything goes.
Yep, anything goes.
Did this remind you of Mel Gibson's classic, The Passion, in the first 5 rounds?
Yeah.
When he's just getting scourged for like 5 rounds.
Except a lot less violent.
Gets
Barely
pretty
remember
similar.
Blackout Van Damme.
Stevie, I really just
The
wish
Jesus character.
I wish that like the shin stuff would have come into play in this final
Yeah.
fight.
I didn't make the movie, Pap.
You know what I mean? I wish they would have had like some shot where they both go up in the air and their shins collide and Tongue Pose just gets like fucking caved in or something. Like,
That's movie making.
He's like, not again.
That's a great callback.
Not again.
That'd have been great if he's like kicking him over and over and over and eventually kicks him in the shin, just blows his leg off. That would have been great movie making.
I do love the kick that he gives to the boss guy
yeah.
in the red shirt, and then the "Never Surrender" comes on.
Never surrender!
I wish he would have made some guy's balls explode like he did in Bloodsport, though.
Well, he does punch him in the balls. He does the classic Johnny Cage at some point. 'Cause I don't think it was as pronounced as it was in Bloodsport, but I did write down, so I assume it happened.
It's just my favorite spoiler in spoiler history was Stevie saying Jean-Claude Van Damme makes the guy's balls explode. Or whatever he said.
Now that's
Episode
the
106.
ancient way.
Yeah, it is.
That's the ancient. But yeah, this movie is like a really... As I said, this movie's only 90 minutes long. It's really streamlined. And there's not a whole lot of resolution. You just kind of have to make yourself think that Jean-Claude and Miley went to live with Uncle Xian and had a family, let out the rest of his day.
Can I,
No, they were gunned down in the street after the match.
we don't consider...
A bloodbath.
Well, actually, we don't consider Kickboxer 2 through 4 canon, right?
Oh my god, no.
Because you
And
know what
5.
happens. You know what happens in Kickboxer 2?
No, what happens?
Immediately, Jean-Claude Van Damme and his brother are dead, murdered by Tong Po. Right after that, and then their
It
brother
just undermines the whole
exactly.
movie. I love
it's
it.
the same thing as I don't know if you've seen Best of the Best and Best of the Best 2. Like one of the guys dies like 2 days after the first movie.
Wait, so
It's like,
Jean-Claude dies immediately after the match?
Who's starring in it?
you ever seen the show Step by Step?
Step
Yeah.
by
You know,
step.
Cody, the stoner dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, he plays the brother, Sloane, the third Sloane brother.
that's
And
a
he
fucking
fights
Kmart
Tong
version.
Po in the second movie.
Kmart version.
Man, he's going to be super charged up. He has to defend 2 brothers.
Yeah.
And they're dead. They're not just paralyzed.
But what
Yeah.
happens to Miley?
I don't know. She probably gets off too. I don't know. I know that Xian or whatever, he's at least in the third one, so he's alive.
Ooh, that's pretty
it's a
dark.
mess.
Fucked up by murdering JCVD.
Yeah, like Exactly. I hate when movies do that. Like, they render the whole previous movie useless. Like, the Ewok Adventure movies. Like, the first one is this, and then literally 10 minutes in the second one, all those people are dead. It's like,
I think
It's like
famously
Rogue
too,
One.
like the Blues Brothers sequels did that.
did they?
Blues Brothers 2000, like
Oh
the
my god.
kids' hospital or whatever was like burned down or something. I don't know.
That's a big dumb movie. Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh,
Could have just stopped after Brother.
You guys ready for yes or no's?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go from Weesis to Eastus. Kylo, let's start with you.
I've really been debating on this, and I didn't know what I was going to decide up until this very moment. I'm going to give it a soft yes, mainly for the nostalgia factor, because like I said, I watched this movie when I was a very little kid, and I thought it was like so badass. And I was just hooked on those like adult movies when I was a little kid, because I felt really grown up watching something like this. The movie itself is pretty by the numbers. It's Rocky IV, Karate Kid, and Bloodsport kind of mashed into one.
It's fantastic.
And I mentioned that earlier, but it's cheesy, but it's all right. I mean, it's a stupid 80s movie, and it does that pretty well, so it's a yes.
This is gonna be a no for me. I think mostly because there is a better Jean-Claude Van Damme movie just like that, and Korey mentioned, called Bloodsport. I don't know if I have room in my life for two Jean-Claude Van Damme movies I'm gonna revisit regularly. I love Bloodsport. Bloodsport is just so bad it's good, like exciting, crazy type of movie. That's where I like laid out like all of the things like make a bad movie good, and this just doesn't. It's a little bit too overly serious. It's trying to do all these things like with the bird and birds. It doesn't really land. And like, I don't know. Given the choice between Kickboxer and Bloodsport, I'll always be able to watch Bloodsport instead. So soft no for me.
I think that's me next. The order you went in at the top of the pod, but I'll give it a soft yes, just for the fun factor. Eric is hugely problematic. I pretty much hate his character, and he does not fit very well into 2020. So that said, this has something for the whole family. Schlucky fights. There's even like I think a quick scene, and they're in the park, and a bunch of people are watching them because they didn't have permits, but they're like sparring, and that looked like actually pretty cool and athletic. Just wanted to shout out to that. But there's like birds, there's mystical ruins for people, there's training sequences, there's a love interest, and there's some really dark, morbid stuff for the Stevies out there too. So I will give this a soft yes.
That's a terrible thing to say.
I'll give it a yes. Solid yes. Like Josh said, Eric is problematic, and you know what? I think his killing is justified for the next movie, so I'm glad he's dead. He seemed like he deserved everything he got, because he kind of just goes over to Thailand to pick fights on strangers in a strange land. He's the jerk, so it's no surprise he got what he got. But yeah, I think plot-wise, this movie is pretty not great, but it's got some funny moments, and yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme is like an amazing martial artist slash athlete, so it's cool to see him do this stuff. So it is super 80s, like Korey said, and I like that, and it's super cheesy, so I'll give it a yes.
Are you gonna skip me?
I was, Brett, but go ahead.
I'm gonna give this a soft. I'm just gonna give it a yes. You can fill in however you want. Like Josh said, it's got something for everything for the family. You know, you got rape, light sexual battery, dog stabbing. I mean, it's got everything. Bring your kids, guys. But at the same time, I'm with Pappy. I freaking love Bloodsport. I've seen it like 20 times. Bloodsport, I will watch. I mean, I watch it all the time if I could. I mean, it was on TV. I watch it. This is not a movie that I'm going to watch when it comes on TV. Like, I don't know if I'd agree with Pappy that it's so bad. It's better at being so bad it's good. I just think it's better than this movie. It's more entertaining. It's lighter. The action's better, but this was fun. I mean, it always helps having a fun podcast too. Like, this was fun talking about this movie, and it's a yes, somewhere in between soft and solid. You know, it's kind of a semi. You know, so thank you.
Half chub.
Yeah, and that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, I will give this a yes. I had a lot of fun talking about it with you guys. There's not a lot of fat on this movie, which is a staple of the 80s. I think it's one reason why I'm so drawn to them. Yeah, the rape and sexual assault stuff really stinks, but for Pappy to declare me the new king of it, I think is a tad gross.
You mocked Josh with the same title. Don't give me that.
It's a tad gross, Pap.
Go back and listen to Duck You
grossly...
Sucker and see what the receipts say.
Dokusaka. Dokusaka.
The receipts.
And the reason the receipts ran that way is because Josh was like doing them in a string. I have a pretty far gap between this and Highlander.
Antichrist.
Just saying. That was a punishment movie. Anyway, I'll give this a soft yes. I'm in agreement with you guys, though. I'd rather watch Bloodsport any day. I think it's a much better movie. And I don't consider Bloodsport to be one of those it's so bad it's good movies. I think Bloodsport is just a downright amazing good movie.
Amen.
So, yeah, just a yes for this one. But we will be doing more Van Damme movies in the future. What's the one with Rodman called?
Double Team.
Double Team.
I want to see Universal Soldier,
Lionheart,
Cyborg, Legionnaire,
Time Cop. Yeah, we will be doing many more Van Damme movies. So, without
He's
further
no
ado,
Anthony Daniels, but yeah.
He's better than Anthony Daniels, Josh.
Well, he's just not a king.
You guys ready for some trivia?
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, Pap, what's the order?
I hosted most recently on... No, sorry, Josh hosted most recently on the 70s Lord of the Rings, then me with Serenity, then... Anybody know? Brett with District B13.
Spring Breakers?
That was Stevie. So me... Or Josh, me, Brett, Mikey.
Korey.
Josh, me, Brett, Mikey, Korey. Yeah.
Korey Schneiden.
I hosted in February.
It's a hard schneid. Alright, so my question for you guys is, since we are talking about the muscles from Brussels, Jean-Claude Van Damme, we're going to talk about his homeland. This is just a closest to. And the census closest to when this movie came out, which is 1989. The census was done in 1991, year after I was born. What was the population of the country Belgium?
Oh, crap. But he's from America.
I wish.
He's the most American man of all time.
His mother raised him in Belgium.
He doesn't talk like Forrest Gump.
Oof.
Yeah, so it's just
me.
closest to.
Closest to. Say 22 million.
22 mil for George.
Solid guess.
Is Pat next?
19 million.
19 million for Pap. Who's next?
17,200,000.
17.2. So strange for Brett.
Me?
Mikey.
Go 35 million.
Korey, this is a tough one.
Hmm. 17 million.
Wow.
Trying to be strategic.
Let me type in my numbers here. And the retail price for 1991 population of Belgium is 9,978,681.
Wow.
Your new
It's a small country.
Off to Schneid.
I should have.
Off the schneid.
I was going to go
And,
2,300, then I started trying to compare it to the Scandinavian countries, which are like 6
Did you say
million.
2,300?
23 million. I was
Oh.
going to say 23 million. I was going to... Come on, it's not like Moby Dick has 1,500 pages, words in it.
I got
Pages
you.
or words?
So who won?
Corey,
Korey, off the
I win.
schneid. What was the last movie you hosted?
never.
I hosted Fast 5 in February.
Man.
Hey, Corey, we got a fan request for the accountant, so we're just going to have to do that for your pick.
The accountant.
Done the account.
I
Yeah,
have an
didn't we
idea
do
for
that?
fan requests. We should just do them without them being someone's pick.
All right.
Behind the
That's
curtain
novel,
sort
right?
of talk here.
Corey, you have like such a wide array of movies on your future spoilers picks on Letterboxd. It's like some are great and some are awful. Like, which way are you going to go?
I'm going to go off it.
Okay.
Are you going to tell us now, or do you want us to come back after the break?
Please don't be.
Come back after the break.
Spoiler Man here. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcast spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song.
And we're back. Kylo, what do you got for us next time out?
Well, in the political climate of today, I think it's only appropriate that we talk a little bit about gender. And there's a movie called It's Pat the Movie, which I think is really perfect for that.
Not going to watch.
Such a classic movie.
Why, Brett?
Because Quentin Tarantino wrote part of it, so
He did rewrites on
yeah,
it.
it's not his proudest moment.
Doing rewrites and writing, it's way
I
different.
was just joking. But no, I'm not going to watch this terrible movie.
Damn.
Okay, well, I don't know, I'll be on it.
So chalk up a yes for Brett for next week.
Yeah.
We'll get that in the records. We'll put that stamp of approval
that
for Brett.
shit down. But thank you for listening to us kind of, I guess you could say, just streamline Kickboxer. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Thanks for listening, and that was Spoilers. What's wrong, Pappy? You seem put out.
Oh, I'm not put out. I just watched 2 episodes of the first season of Amazing Race. Just processing it. Kind of.
Wait, you're starting at the beginning of The Amazing Race?
Oh yeah, episode 1. I wanna get to know the characters from.
Dude, there's some serious villains on that show. Wait, Liz is on this one?
What show is it?
I think Josh accidentally did an old call. Amazing Race, like the first season.
I can't watch that kind of stuff.
I like it.
That's cool. I know tons of people do. I know tons of people who love Survivor. I could not watch that show.
I like the locations part of it. I don't usually like those kind of shows.
There was a season that had Ned Schneebly on it from School of Rock, if you've seen it. Oh, of course you've seen School of Rock.
Oh, yeah.
You're in it.
Mike White.
That's his name?
Yeah.
It's Ned Schneebly.
Ned Schneebly.
Well, Ned Schneebly is played by 2 different actors in the movie, so
One's Jack Black.
yeah.
Well, it's not
Mike
Jack
White.
Black.
Didn't Ned Schneebly write School of Rock?
I believe so, yes.
He did.
Happy. Is it better? Oh, it's loud.
That's still loud. Test.
Test,
He wrote it specifically for Jack Black, actually.
Test.
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that get brought up because of Amazing Race?
School of Rock?
Mike White. He was on Amazing Race.
That's what I said.
My shit's super loud.
So wait, Ned Schneebly is a contestant on Amazing Race?
Oh yeah, dude.
Is my mic loud?
You sound quiet now.
Oh, I see. My shit is messed up.
Test. Testy.
Test.
Also testing. Now it's too quiet.
Where's Josh?
Oh no,
Where
he
is
yelled at
Josh?
him.
Mic test.
Mad.
Where is Josh? Mic test.
What'd you do? You yelled at him?
He yelled at him. He got real sensitive and ran away.
Don't call him sensitive. He hates that.
not. Jesus. The fuck?
See, real sensitive.
Test 3. Okay.
You ready, guys?
No, not ready.
No,
Brett.
not ready.
Fuck up.
What happens when you get on at 10:08?
I think we're probably shooting for a 10:20 start time, Brett.
Please don't.
Why?
Man, I gotta work. I worked last night. I gotta work tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. I'd like to not be on here till midnight.
Brett, it's the same thing every week.
It really is.
Delivering pizzas and banging whores.
I do one of those things.
Check.
Whores. Anybody have a good spoiler?
Test. I just don't watch fighting stuff.
Microphone out of the Twilight Zone.
It is a little scary. Been a lot
I don't know why it's
doing
doing that.
It's like you have like 3 different tones. It just keeps going back and forth, like you're talking to a.
It's like you're kind of
A time
rebounding.
warp.
Yeah, you're rebounding through dimensions. I don't know which Mikey's talking to me.
Wow.
It's a multiverse over in Mikey's mic.
Yeah,
It's Earth
so-
616, Mikey.
Mikey 2 or 3. I like that pick. That's good. Jorsh.
Well, Mikey, is your local record good? Are we good to keep going?
I have no idea. I don't know why I would have any
Twilight
effects
Zone.
on it at all.
Infinite time.
Should we wait?
No, we're on a good run.
Maybe Mikey can make a part A and part B and just check his mic and get back to us, right?
I think it makes for a
Pappy,
podcast.
I don't know who's editing this, but
I would say, yeah, or we should just pause, let Mikey get his mic fixed, and then keep going. But
Pause?
no, don't pause the recording.
Oh. Okay.
just wait for
Yeah,
Mikey to
Mikey
test
is like-
it. And then I'll go.
Yeah.
So, Josh, you going?
Yeah. All right.
Mikey, I quit.
As long
I
as
wish
you're
you could hear what it sounds like,
Mikey,
Mikey.
you might just if your local recording's fine, just switch your Skype mic to your like PC mic or Mac mic or whatever. Because yeah, I couldn't understand what you were saying.
We want to talk to you, Mikey.
It was touch and go there on that countdown. I was like, are we going to be able to hear one?
I hope we all started on the right time.
I
That
think
was
we
a little
did, 'cause-
eerie.
He did say go. I heard him say go at least.
Go.
And also,
No,
we got to
no,
admit, Korey's done something about his clicks. He's changed up the program a little bit.
Yeah, I can hide him now.
That's such a bummer because I was going to introduce you as Master Clicker Korey
Master Clicker.
or
He's
Click
down for
Master
work.
Korey.
We shamed him so bad, he had to find a workaround. I'm sorry, Korey.
Was that the right?
Yeah, I know. One of the episodes started off just making fun of me, like you could just hear it.
I think that was Ratatouille. I think I definitely like turned up the sound on your clicks.
I edit my tracks. I left it in because I knew you would want to have it.
Thank you.
It's great
So-
pod content.
I knew what was coming.
Mikey, you back? Did he ever leave?
He is
Kylo, what year were you born?
86.
All right, cool.
It's only 10 years after Josh.
To the day.
to this day. So that makes Brett the oldest then?
Definitely.
You were 84, right?
Yeah, Josh is 84 too, though.
Right.
I'm
I
like
just
what, 5
turned
months-
84.
5 months
Yeah.
older than you, Josh.
I just turned 84.
How are you doing?
Can you hear
yeah,
me,
I
Brett?
don't think you're that old. What?
You can hear me, right?
Yeah. You just turned 84.
Yeah.
When's
your birthday, Josh?
84.
No, but when's
On June 28th, 1914.
Josh?
I'm not gonna get doxxed. Pappy can edit someone saying
We're
a
not even
birthday.
recording right now. He's fixing his mic.
We are
Yeah,
recording.
can you guys hear me?
But it's not going to be in.
It's gonna be on the Patreon, and those are the real weirdos.
We don't have a Patreon.
That's that Kaliki guy, whoever followed us all on Twitter.
Can you guys hear me or not?
Yeah, that's much better. Yay!
Yes, that's so much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of missed multi-dimension Mikey.
Yeah, multi-dimension Mikey was going to be a weird twist to this pod. I was kind of excited for it.
Oh,
Can
no.
you hear me? I swore.
Oh,
Back.
It's back. It's terrible.
Mikey's going into a rickle of time.
Mikey.
We lost him. You lost it for yourself.
Where we're going.
Come on, let's go shake their hands. I know Korey knows where that's from.
He's frustrated.
Mighty Ducks 2.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
You lost it for me.
You lost it for yourself.
Is it D3 with the cowboy or D2?
2
2
and
and 3.
Okay, so it
Ooh.
starts in 2.
Dwayne.
You go down to Rodeo Drive.
Rodeo?
Oh, it's Rodeo.
I'm
No, it
back.
says
I'm ready.
Rodeo.
Oh.
Keep talking, Mikey.
I'm ready if you guys are ready.
Cool.
Okay,
All
hey,
right,
this is
remember-
Josh. Oh, should I just go?
You can name a boxer too if you want. I don't care.
Mikey, you're rolling, right?
Yep.
That was Spoilers.